Hello everyone, this is GM Var Akobian and welcome to the Sinquefield Cup Round 5 recap. In this round there were all draws in round 5 the game of the day is going to be the Linear Dominguez game against Hans Niemann that I'm going to show you. The other matchups were Mamedyarov drew Caruana, Wesley So drew Aronian, and MVL drew against Nepomniachtchi. So it was kind of a peaceful round. But this game was quite interesting, and let's take a look at this game. Dominguez is playing with the white pieces, e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, so bishop c4 we have. And now knight f6 is played, also bishop c5 is a very popular move here in this position, but knight f6. And here basically white has a few options here to play d3, which Dominguez did to protect the pawn, or play the move knight g5, but that's going to evolve into a very sharp lines in a fried liver attack. So that did not happen. So after d3 we have move bishop c5, castles, c3. Dominguez is an excellent theoretician, so whenever he plays this stuff he knows them very deeply here. So a6, a4, the idea is to prevent b5. Bishop a7 comes in, bd2, h3, h6, rook e1 developing, knight e7. The idea is to try to bring the knight on g6, bishop b3 played. There was a a5 was another move in this position. I think bishop b3 is a new approach. I think there was one game where white played a5 in this position. Again, you don't want to play the move d4 here, because if you do that, that's just going to be a problem, because after takes, black can simply break the center, and if you capture, then knight e5, and you're going to end up with isolated pawn, weak square on b4, and c6, bishop f5. A very comfortable position here for black. So that's why we have bishop b3 here played. Dominguez is preparing d4, and now c5. And this move doesn't look that nice, because you're basically blockading your own bishop here, but it's specifically designed to prevent white from playing the move d4. So that's the main idea, just c5, so white cannot play the move d4. So Dominguez continue with knight f1, bishop b6, knight d3, queen d7 developing, bishop d2, rook a d8, a5. Now in this position I think perhaps maybe taking on b3 would have been better, or just continue with the knight g6 plan. But Niemann played bishop a6, and after the game he was very disappointed with this decision, because it became very clear that he's going to be in big trouble, because bishop b8 is basically preparing to play d5, but white is going to be able to here close the center at a favorable way, because now bishop a4 comes in, attacking the queen. Queen goes on c8, and now c4, and that simply locks in the d5, so d5 is no longer possible now. Knight g6, knight d5, activating the knight, knight takes d5, cd5. It's very important we take with the c pawn, because at some point this knight you see on f3 is going to lend to that beautiful square on c4, so that's why you have to take back with the c pawn here, and bishop d7. And here it's time for a break in this position, and the idea here is we go for b4. Okay, we go for b4 because we want to try to put pressure on c5 and also open up the b file. I really like this move, and it becomes clear at this moment that Dominguez has a very nice advantage here. Bishop on b8 is very passive, and in general black's position is quite passive here. C takes b4, rook c1. Now the queen is almost trapped, but now you can play bishop a4, attacking white's queen on a4. So queen takes a4, queen d7, and exchange will occur. And this is a very nice endgame for white. White could also take back immediately with the bishop takes b4. This was another good option. But since f5 is coming, maybe there will be some pressure on the f file. So white wants to keep the bishop there to play bishop e3 at some point. So here, bishop e3, trading. That takes away all the pressure on the e file, and now this b4 pawn is going to be gone anyway. f5, trying to create some counterplay, takes, and rook b1. Now getting ready to capture the pawn on b4. Knight d2, e4. First you have to protect this pawn. And now we get this position. And this is a big problem here because black has two big weaknesses. The pawn on b7 is backward and also the pawn on d6. So that's why it's going to be very difficult for black here. For computer, this is just the easy winning position. Computer just very easily wins this. But for human, it's a little bit more difficult. Knight c8. So for example, the engine actually didn't even want to take with this rook. He says, don't even let this knight get to c8. Take this way. If opponent goes here, you play rook c1. And if you go here, you just put the rook to c4. So this way, he can never even move the knight. The knight is going to be on a super passive square on e7. Okay? So it's going to be on a super passive squares and can move the knight, and the c8 is under control, can go to c7. Yeah, it's a really tough position here. And basically, you can slowly improve g3, king f1, knight f1, knight d3, and just improve the position. But Dominguez actually took with this way, and that's going to allow the knight to reach the a7 square. Knight f3 comes in. It's a very specific idea. Dominguez is trying to play d4 here pretty quickly before knight arrives on b5. So it's a good plan. Now creating a weakness, takes g3, g6, and now rook b3, protecting the third rank. This move is fine. And here it's actually, we see some hesitation by him. He plays the move h4, perhaps, you know, being a little bit low on the clock, but actually it still has 22 minutes. So here it's actually time to go for a direct win. Knight e6 check. Going back on h7 is going to be super passive, so you have to play king f6. And now you go rook f3 check. So the king, if the king goes here, then I mean we can even play rook g3, attack the pawn, and you can put the knight on d4, and again black cannot move anything. Next move you can go here and just simply pick up a pawn. That's one option. So most likely he will go here, but if he goes here now, then there's a very strong finish here. Knight f8, hitting the rook and threatening knight takes g6 mate. So that's simply going to force rook takes f8, rook f8, and now white is up to exchange. So essentially at this moment, knight e6 was just directly winning, just giving excellent winning chances because just you need to put this knight on e6. So he played h4, a little bit slow. Now knight b5 comes in, and here is the critical moment in the game. Here you have to absolutely keep your knight. Okay, the knight on b5 is not doing that much, so you have to play the move knight e6 check, king f6. Again, you give a check. Same concept. If you go here, you're losing to the move knight f8, and you're getting mated, or you have to give up the exchange. So if you go to e7, then actually you just play this move. And black doesn't have any moves, cannot go to c7, cannot go to d4, and now you're ready to play the move rook c8. If knight a7 comes in, then you play rook g3, put pressure on the pawn. I mean, it's, rook f6, rook cc3, nothing is really moving, and your rook is trapped, your knight cannot move, knight moves, I can play rook c8. So yeah, here it was just a very tough decision, and Dominguez just somehow didn't feel that moment and went for the knight takes b5, and that's actually throws away, unfortunately, most of the advantage for him, because now this knight was so much better than the knight on b5, and you will get a position. Can even do this, because if you take g5 and just getting a lot of activities, this pawn on e4 is weak. Okay, but at least you have to take the pawn back. So you played rook f3, and now rook f7. I can't even take the pawn back. So at least he had to take on b5, would have some chances. But once again, the knight on e6 is super strong. It's just so dominant here. So that's why you don't want to trade the knight. Again, good piece versus not a very good piece here. And the knight on e6 is just too strong, guarding too many squares. Knight e6, I think Dominguez would have won the game. Now again, rook b5 was necessary. King f2. Rook c7. King e3. And now rook f2, trying to trade rooks. king d3. But the problem here is you just don't have enough. Like if you can trade one pair of the rooks, this one with this one, you just pick up on b5, you're gonna have very nice position. But you just can't do that. Here. And now we just have a repetition, and the game ends in a draw. And this was a pretty big shock here because we all thought Dominguez was going to be able to convert this game. This was the second time he missed a win here. He was winning against Jan Nepomniachtchi earlier, but he missed a win there as well. And now here, you know, he did not convert this really big advantage. Once again, guys, it's very important to understand whenever you can land a knight on a square like e6, okay? You don't need to see like a direct win. You can just put a knight in there. The knight is just not going to be easy to remove from there, okay? And just check. King e5, knight f8 wins. You have to go to e7, and now rook c4. If you take, she takes f, and now the king is going to come in, and there is no way for you to really remove my knight from e6. So simply king will come to the center, then f4 will come in, and there could be another break with e5, and it'll be just a very strong central break here, okay? And it's completely win. It's pity for Dominguez, he missed a chance, but Hans Niemann fought very hard and managed to get a half a point. Okay, so this is the recap, guys, for the round 5, and we'll be back with you with the round 6 recap very shortly. So we had a lot of action in that round, so we'll have some good games to go over with you. Okay, thank you everybody, hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my channel and put your like and notifications, and put some comments, guys. Let me know what you like me to do. I will be also doing some opening videos after I finish the Sinquefield Cup recap. I'll be doing my specialty opening videos teaching you how to win in certain openings. So hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye.